Bill Anton, and today's topic is going to be prayer. Now, it's an interesting topic given the life that was just celebrated and the National Day of Mourning that our country experienced with respect to one of our great leaders, George Herbert Walker Bush. One of the things that's interesting about President Bush is that he was able to maintain kind of a sense of humor, inner calmness, courage, the ability to take risk, and in the context of it all, maintain loving and close family relationships. He was confident even during times when he disrupted his own life and his own trajectory. Now, many of us, in contrast, spend our days perplexed, worried, trying to avoid risk, and also avoiding prayer. Prayer is something that President Bush engaged in on a regular basis, and his faith was one of the cornerstones of his life. So what is it that, aside from religious significance or theological meaning, what is it that prayer actually does to our lives, our bodies, our brains? And how do we get out of the everyday mindset of worry, anticipating negative consequences, having all kinds of thoughts and self-doubts run through our minds? And what is it that how does prayer operate to change all of that? Well, prayer, like meditation, doing the harder thing on a consistent basis, having big audacious goals that are creative and almost unrealizable, they all have a similar impact on our brain. They engage our frontal lobes. Our frontal lobes, in particular the prefrontal cortex, is the most recently evolved part of our brain and where our highest and best level of thinking occurs. There's also the added benefit that when we engage our frontal lobes, and the more we engage it and the more we exercise it, just like a muscle, the more it tends to strengthen and the more we tend to engage it on a regular basis. Now, the frontal lobes have the added advantage of having an abundance of endorphin receptors. So whether through prayer or meditation or a kind of a level of self-knowledge that we can all aspire to, but only a number of us actually achieve, we are able to do our best thinking, to experience inner peace, to assume reasonable risk, to engage in a loving way with people that are important to us, and to have a sense of inner serenity and peace all at the same time. So all of the best things go together. And one of the vehicles for achieving it is prayer. So if you want to develop all of those qualities and live a kind of a mildly positive, serene, but highly effective and adaptive life, prayer is one of the mechanisms that leads us there. In addition, we now know through innovations in quantum mechanics and physics that even though human beings experience only 3 dimensions of space, that there are probably 18 dimensions of space-time, the bulk of which we can't even apprehend. So there's also reason to hope and to believe that prayer is actually a way of communicating with beings or with God or with an ultimate authority or ultimate intelligence in the universe that far transcends what we as human beings are capable of. So don't discount the theological or spiritual advantages of prayer above and beyond the advantages that prayer offers all of us in our daily lives, many of which we've just listed. So continue to prayer. Prayers of gratitude are especially effective. And the more you pray, the more you meditate, The more you think of the large picture of your life, not the day-to-day aggravations that besiege all of us, the more you're going to be blessed with the virtues of being a serene human being, an effective human being, and a prayerful human being. Thank you.